Happy Monday and welcome back to my Wall-E toy box. Last time we built the freeway overpass where Wall-E's home sits, and we built Wall-E's home. But I ran out of time before I could add the debris for the collapsed part of the overpass, which sits over here. So I want to do that today. Once again, here's a screenshot of the overpass from the movie. In the lower right corner of this shot, you can see some debris sticking up out of the dirt, and it looks like it might be part of the collapsed overpass. When it collapsed, that material had to go somewhere, so that's what we want to show in the toy box. And so that's what we're going to do here. And as we begin, I'm going to add in a little piece of collapsed freeway here, and I'm going to use this block and another one, but we're going to style them using the frosted white world, which is the same theme we're using for the concrete up here. And then we're going to add in another piece right next to it so that it's 4 wide, so that when we come up to the racetrack pieces and we select this short racetrack, that will cover those 2 blocks. And once again, for the roads in here, we're using the Bunta Eve track. I'll set that to be my theme. Alright, so there we go. We have a chunk of freeway that has collapsed. Alright, and then we're going to add some debris around this. And we have all of these debris pieces here. So we'll just kind of add in some debris so that it looks like it's part of the landscape there, and not just sitting on top of the terrain. Kind of want it to look embedded in the dirt somewhat. So I think that's a good thing. And then we'll just place some additional pieces out and about here. We'll bring this piece over, put that behind here, like that. And another piece back here, like that. And we're just basically adding in some terrain. I'm going to flip that around so it's not the same orientation as that one. You can combine these pieces as well. So we could put one, for example, here, another one on the back side of it to make kind of a larger pile of debris. I like that. We can add in another pile here. And add in a smaller pile next to it. With some smaller debris pieces in here like this. Okay. And then we'll put a larger pile over here. Don't want to go too nuts with this, but we need enough to make it look substantial. Okay, so I think that gives the general idea. So it looks like there's parts of the collapsed freeway sticking up out of the dirt there. And the dirt has kind of accumulated over the years, the centuries, and kind of filled in the gaps around those clumps of debris. And I think, too, it might be nice to put some debris up here on either side, like that. Make it look like the road is kind of, the off-ramp is part of the debris as well. So I like that. And we can even put a pile of debris on top of this road like that. And that doesn't look so flat that way. Okay, so there we go. And then let's add in a little bit more detail up here around the debris mover here. So like that. And like that. Okay, in the screenshot that I showed last time, there was a little sign here on this corner. And I didn't have this ready to go, so I'm going to have to scroll here a moment. But there was a little short sign with kind of a diamond shape on top of it. And you'll actually see this screenshot a little bit later in this video, but I thought it would be good to put that in here too. It doesn't say the same thing as the one in the movie, but it's the same size, the same shape, and I just kind of like that little detail. So we'll put that up there as well. Okay, let's grab a couple of plant clusters here. And we're going to place these about like that. And let's style this and see what we get. Oh, before we do that, I'm going to style this using the Wally's Collection power disc, so I need to put that on my base. If you don't have that power disc, just place the terrain piece here, and you can go for the power disc with the toy dispenser later. But I'm going to set that to be my theme. And this is actually going to rotate like that. And then we're going to do another one over here. Like that. That's Wally's lunchbox. I kind of like the look of that piece. Well, having Wally's lunch pail there is a good thing, I think. Okay, and then let's grab the debris again up under Building Sets Group 2. And we're going to put this one right here because we had some debris on the freeway. And there was another one down this way. This will sit right on this terrain seam here. Just like that, actually. Okay, and you don't want to go too nuts with this. You could put a few more there if you like, but I think that's decent. Okay, there were also some street lights down the middle of this, and if we grab those out of the decorations drawer, we gotta go left a ways to get to them. And you can choose to put these in your toy box or not. It's up to you. I actually did not just to save memory, because I'm on a Wii U. It doesn't have as much memory as a PS4 or a PC. So I chose to save memory by leaving these out, but it wouldn't be bad to put them in. And I think I could actually put them in and get away with it. But they are the dual street lights, and they go right down the middle of the toy box here. And I kind of like to put these along some seams here, but let's do one here. And you'd probably want to try to equally space these somewhat, if you can. Doesn't have to be precise, but that's pretty good for eyeballing it, I think. I think this one would have to come left just a tad. And you could even skip one if you wanted, just as if it looked like it had been fallen down and been destroyed over time. Okay, so there is the freeway overpass. And I think we're doing pretty good on time, so let's start working on some of the city buildings that are going to go over here. Once again, here's a screenshot of the freeway overpass where Wally's home sits, and you can see that little triangular sign right before the off-ramp. You'll notice there are some buildings on the left, and it looks like they are on the opposite side of the road that runs beneath the overpass. If we back the video up a bit, we can get a closer look at these buildings. There's a row of smaller buildings in the front, with some larger and taller buildings behind them. There are also gaps between the buildings, so they're not right next to each other. Here's another shot of some of those buildings in the back, looking at them from behind. These buildings look longer and taller than the ones that were in the front, and on top of them you can see signs, billboards, and a water tower. So let's go ahead and place these. And let's go back to the terrain drawer here. I want to put in some spacer blocks. So we're going to put a spacer block here and a spacer block down here. And then this block is going to sit up next to the road, one nudge to the left. So just like that. Okay? And then up under the building sets group 2, and let me grab my screenshots here to make sure I get this right. Okay. So we're going to go back to the left. We got to go a little ways here to get back to those buildings. I should have dropped one down just to save a little time. Hey, while we're right here, I know we're going to need this. So let's drop this out here. And we'll keep going left past these billboards. And we're going to come to our assorted buildings. And we're going to start with this one. I think this closely matches what we have there in the movie. Okay. So we can take out these little helper blocks that helped us position this. And I'm going to pick this one up. We're going to put down 2 of those. Followed by this base here. Oh. Yeah, let's move our start pad here. We're going to have the player start up here in front of Wally's home. So we'll get this out of the way and put this right where we need it to be. Alright, now we can place this little lobby piece, followed by another one of those. Now next to that, Again, 2 terrain cubes apart. So this would sit 1, 2 over like that. We'll place this piece here. And then again, another 2 cubes over. And our next building was a little bit narrower building. So for that we will use this skyscraper piece. Place that too high like that. And then next to that, again, 2 blocks, oops, 2 terrain cubes away, we'll put our next building. So you can see, oops, that's our first row of buildings. And let's add some detail to these. So each of these had kind of an interesting roof. And I've never really used these pieces before, but I figured this was a good time to do that. So we're going to come out like that. Oops. We're going to do that on top of that building and this one as well. And this actually kind of closely matches what you see in the movie, which I like. It's the kind of roof you see in those screenshots, at least for these first 3. Okay, so there we have those. And I like that. I think that looks really good. Okay, and then for the buildings behind, let's go ahead and grab this one again. Put that down. That gets us back to that part of the drawer. Once again, we're going to go 2 terrain cubes to the right. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 nudges gives us 2 cubes, because each nudge goes a half a cube. You can see we can fit 2 cubes between there. And we're going to do the same thing over here, so let's drop those down. And this building, since the ones in the back were a little bit taller, we're going to make that 3 high, like that. And then next to that, we're going to put a wider building, or a longer building, also 3 high. We'll take out those little cubes, pick this one up, come over to the other side of the building, drop that, and I think, yeah, 2 cubes. And then we're going to do something a little bit different here. We're going to grab this block, because one of the things you see in the movie is that the Wall-E robots have built these skyscrapers of trash. So rather than just buildings, we're going to add some trash skyscrapers. So I'm going to set the Wall-E's collection to be my theme. And we're going to place 2 of those on top of each other like that. And we're going to intersperse these amongst the city buildings. And then over here, we're going to put 1 block down, followed by our next building, which again we'll use this style. That's going to be 2 high with another one of those fancy roof pieces. If I can find it, there it is. Okay, so there are the buildings. And it's kind of starting to look like what you saw in the screenshot there, which I think is really good. Now eventually we're going to add some debris around the base of those buildings, but I don't think I want to do that today. We're going to do that all at the end. One thing we want to do, though, is we had a water tower up on top of one of these buildings. I think it was this one. And I think, let's see, if we're looking at it from this direction, that looks right. You could put this over here if you want. And we'll put down another one on top of this building, like that. And then we could put in another section of this, because it kind of looked like that other building had a taller section on top of it. So you can do something like that. Okay, that looks pretty good. Well, I think that's a good stopping point for today. Next time, I'll show you how to build the By and Large Superstore. Thank you for watching. Before you go, please hit the like button if you enjoyed this video, and leave a comment to let me know what you think of the completed overpass and these first city buildings. I'd love to hear from you. That's all for me today. Take care.